What's going on, Lotus Tribe? I hope all is well and everyone is thriving, feeling well, smelling well. I don't know why I said that. Smelling well, all of the things. All of the things. Is that how that goes? Like all of the things. Don't make fun of me because I don't know how to do the see, all of the things, all of the things. I hope everyone is thriving, everyone is well. Welcome to another session of Lotus Academy, where we get here, we learn, we have open conversations in order for us to show up and be the best versions of ourselves. If you like content like this, if you want to keep growing, if you want to be a better version of yourself, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I mean, what are you waiting on? Because this is what we're doing. If you are part of the tribe, hit the like button. If you're trying to get better, subscribe so we can do this journey, this thing we call the journey together. So, last session, we talked about understanding the subconscious mind and that 95% of what you do is based on your subconscious. We identified the paradigm, right? The paradigm of which you are operating on. We discussed how this programming that's playing, this tune that's playing, is what is operating our actions, as our subconscious mind does not have the ability to accept or reject. It just receives information. It is your conscious mind that has the ability to accept or reject. However, your subconscious mind operates and orchestrates your conscious mind, then leading into your actions and your habits. So, if you start to work on things in your conscious mind to then reprogram in your subconscious mind, this is how you then start to do and incorporate different frequencies or operate on different frequencies within your life. So now that given you like a recap of the last video, I would highly recommend going to go check out that video. This specific session, I really want to dig a little bit more deeper into why it is so necessary of identifying and taking inventory into where you currently are in this moment. There are three words I want you to take in that we are going to use metaphorically in this session. It is going to be seeds, roots, and fruits, right? Because y'all know I be in the garden, so I can't help it. I can't help it. I just love being outside and in the garden. It's just like this new profound habit of mine in this higher version of myself, this fey version of myself. And I just love seeing the fruits and the blossom come when you get the rooting system and the seeds in the right soil, and how these fruits that grow, you can then decipher if the soil is good, if it's rich, or it's just right by how the fruits taste, how they grow, how big they are. So I want to use those things metaphorically in everyday life because it has been so significant to me in my journey. So again, the three words that we need to remember throughout this session is going to be seeds, roots, fruits. Okay? And I want to give a disclaimer in this video that the information that I'm coming to you to share is not for you to feel like tomorrow when you wake up you're just this new and improved version of yourself. It also goes hand in hand with my garden metaphors and things that I like to draw into comparison, because I need everyone to understand that these changes come with moderation, and that even though you may still be exhibiting old versions of yourself, or you're still growing into becoming this new version of yourself, You can do it gracefully, you can do it happily, and you can do it with acceptance. Okay. This is not for you to become extremely overwhelmed thinking that you're going to show up tomorrow as this like complete improved person. Yes, you can wake up tomorrow and you can say, hey, like I'm choosing to make different choices in order to get different, outcomes. But I want really everyone to understand that these things come with a process of thing. It is truly your garden. So that leads me into the concept of the seed, right? It is important to identify what seeds currently do you have planted in the soil, i.e., your internal world. Your internal world is the seed, okay? And that seed in that soil has grown a root system. These are your beliefs from the seeds that have been planted. So, your seeds are situations in your life, circumstances in your life that you have let rooted in your internal system. By letting that root into your internal system, you have been bearing certain fruits from those roots and that seed that was planted, those ideas, those beliefs, and those beliefs and ideas have been giving you certain manifestations, what so have you, or certain encounters, or a certain dynamic of living. So, getting into it just a tad bit deeper and giving you an example for myself. I believed I touched on this on Think Piece. And for those of you who don't know, who haven't checked that out, check that out. That's our journaling with me. I talked about this in Think Piece. I grew up in an environment that led me to believe that the only capacity of love that I could feel is only if I was being validated outside of myself, right? The only way that I felt validated to feel love is by being validated by somebody else. That was the seed that was planted, right? And so, in that, a root system and a belief started to occur, and it started to take root in my soil, in my internal world. And the fruits of which I had been bearing from that is codependent relationships. There were many fruits bearing from that belief system. Let's just be very, very clear. But one of which I am sharing, one of the fruits that I was bearing from that belief system, from that root system, from that seed that was planted from my environment and my parenting was codependent relationships. I was in turn giving so much of myself, even if it made me unhappy, even if I did not want to do it, because I felt that that was the only way to prove that I am capable of being loved. I was finding myself attracting men in my life that I was always overly giving to. There was a lack of balance in the relationship. I was constantly extending myself. That didn't just happen one time in my life, that happened twice in my life. Not only did it happen twice in my life, but then I had children with these individuals, not realizing it the first time around, right? Now, I'm sharing this because I want to be open and I want to share this with everyone that's out there. I could care less who thinks what. I have accepted it. I have understood. I have identified this seeding, this root system that has taken place in my internal world to why I was bearing certain fruits in my life. So there's nothing that anybody could come and tell me in the comments to make me feel less than, because I've already identified it through therapy and many other things and just being reflective, right? So again, going back to that belief system that I had, I felt as though I needed to be in relationships to where I was overly giving. I would call it and make it a belief system that this is loyalty, this is ride or die. You got to be a ride or die chick. That's what makes you lovable. That's what makes men want you, is being this ride or die chick. And you have to forgive me, I talk with my hands. This ride or die chick, right? So even in instances where these men were violating me and mistreating me, I completely would let that go over my head because I wanted to prove that I was this down chick, this ride or die, that I was willing to be the Bonnie to your Clyde. And with that, the expectation that I had was, you will see me, you will value me, and one day you will give me everything. One day you will see this woman, this girl that's standing in front of you. That was the belief that I had. And I was attracting those relationships to myself. So much so, if I attracted anything outside of that, where I hadn't had to be the fixer upper, I would sabotage the relationship because it felt so unfamiliar. It felt uncomfortable for me. It's like, oh, I don't have to fix you. Oh, you have everything together. I don't need to be here. I'm not interested. Because what I define to be considered love and to be considered of value, you're not giving me that because I'm used to a toxic way of a relationship. And I hope that y'all following me in this. So I say that to say, with you, what is it within you right now in this moment? What seeds have been planted in you that has taken root, identifying your seed, the circumstances, situation that may have occurred in your life, and has taken root that is causing you to bear certain fruit that you would not prefer to see anymore. And it's not, I'm giving you the relationship aspect of it, but it's not just relationships. It can be jobs. It could be the type of people you encounter. You go from one job and you being mistreated, and then you leave that job and then you go to another job and you still being mistreated. Well, what is it within you or that has happened to you that you feel subconsciously you deserve this mistreatment? I need y'all to really sit back and think about these things in your life because it is going to be highly difficult for us to take steps forward and progress and change if we cannot take inventory of where we are, if we cannot identify the seeds that were planted and have taken root within our internal world, which is causing certain fruits that we are bearing. It goes back to the example that I gave about money. The seed that was planted in that circumstance, in that situation, was that money is the root of all evil. Then you took on that belief system. And so the fruit that is now being bared from that tree or from that plant or from that bush is you are now operating in an ecosystem that is non-serving. You are struggling. You are living in scarce, and you no longer or never had a good relationship with the frequency of money. And so I need you to apply that concept in every aspect of your life and start identifying where is it that there may be considered, I don't want to say bad fruit, but fruit that just doesn't belong in your garden, right? Because if you think about it, and you garden here in the United States, I'm sure it's all over, but we live in certain zones, right? Like I live in a zone 8. And I believe like Florida is like zone 9 or 10. The Caribbean would be like a zone 10, where you can grow certain type of fruits that you can't grow in the area that I'm in right now. Like in Florida, you can do mangoes, you can do pineapples. In tropical places, you can do coconuts. And then in certain areas, you can do certain things that you can't do in New York because it needs a certain type of environment. It needs a certain type of temperaments and temperature and nurturing in those areas that it would need to grow certain fruits than it would need in other areas. So think about it the same way. We need to really start identifying and taking inventory of where we are before we can even decipher where it is that we want to go. So I'm leaving us with some homework, because really this was just before we can move on to the next place. I really, really want everybody to kind of sit with that, because the next session that we come back in, we're going to get a little bit deeper. But I wanted to give y'all this so that you can start getting your brain shifting and going. I don't even want to get into the aspects of manifestation yet, because what a lot of people don't talk about and a lot of people don't speak of is, oh, we just want to manifest, we just want to manifest, we just want to manifest. But if your internal system is a certain way, understand that your manifestation is coming from the current internal system that you have. So you may manifest the job, but you can't keep the job because you're not a reflection of that job. You manifested the job, but you can't keep the job. You can't keep the manifestation. You might have manifested the man, but then you manifested the man and he giving you the same energy that homeboy back then was giving you. It's just a different face. That's not what we're doing here. We're trying to grow and be better versions of ourselves. So in order to do that, we have to establish where we are, so that now when we are manifesting, moving forward in the future, or calling different things into ourselves, we can sustain that, because now we are the reflections of those things that we want. You attract what you are a reflection of. You attract what you are a reflection of. So that relationship you want, where you at internally? Because homegirl, homeboy, if you ain't showing up different, if you still toxic, if you still trying to go through somebody's phone, guess what? You're going to attract the relationship to yourself where you got to go through somebody's phone. But if you secure and you know that you the prize and you love yourself and you got that self-worth, guess what? The person that you attract ain't even gonna come at you like that, because they already see it in you. You feel me? Because you can't get and you can't expect nothing that you ain't giving yourself. And y'all know I get long-winded. Y'all know when I get excited, I start going and getting deeper and deeper and deeper. But for real, I really wanted to come to y'all to have this conversation with y'all, to let y'all know, like, let's take inventory for where we are right now in this moment. It's acceptance, it's moderations. I'm not telling you to go and dissect everything and I got this from here and I did this from here. It'll come. Spirit will give it to you gradually. Right now, I think it's just more so focusing on the thing that you know that you're thinking about right now in this moment, and let's work on that. And then in the next video, in the next session, we're going to talk about how we can start incorporating certain techniques and tools to change that tune that's been playing back here, change that programming, some techniques that I've used to help me overcome those things and shift my mindset. Again, if you like this content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I really want to touch people. This is something that I'm very passionate about. This is my purpose. Check out the link down in the description. That is a free workbook that I have put together to help identify, some of the things that we need to work on and how we can take strides once we identify it and becoming the best versions of ourselves. I love y'all so very much. Before we go though, let's think about 3 things to be in gratitude for. For me, it's my home, my children, the sun, the moon, and the earth. I know that was more than 3, but think about the sun, the moon, and the earth all being one, and the stars all being one. I love y'all. Peace be with y'all. Sending y'all so much love and lights. Until next time, Faye, aka Gal.